Hello, my name is Patika Diana Ayers, and I'm the policy analyst for the Community Living Committee, and I'm also the planner. And if you're viewing these videos, that means you're a brand new grantee or you're a former grantee and you're doing a refresher course. What I'm going to be talking to you about is positive and negative learning and what council does to evaluate your projects and what goes into doing an external evaluation of projects. Hopefully, you'll gain some insight into the workings of council and how we view the work that you're doing for us, because we're doing this as a partnership now. And so don't ever feel like you're alone. Let's talk about positive. What do I mean by positive and negative learning? Well, council values everything you learn about your project. Of course, we want to hear about all the successes you make, but we also want to know what goes wrong because you learn more from what went wrong than necessarily by all the success that you've done. Council is in partnership with you, and we want you to succeed. So you should feel free to share any barriers that you run into so that council can help you to brainstorm solutions. Most of your grants have an advisory board in place to assist in problem solving, and that is all right too. We're happy for you to have that. But the bottom line is, council wants to know everything about your project so that we can share with others the lessons we have learned from you. Remember, like success, failure is many things to many people. With positive mental attitude, failure is a learning experience, like a rung on the ladder, a plateau at which to get your thoughts in order and prepare to try again. So we want to know everything about your project, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. We want to know about it so that we can grow with you and share what you're learning with others. So that's positive and negative learning. Now, let's talk about the evaluation of projects. We generally know that the first year the projects will only be evaluated by council staff and council members. Council will continue to review quarterly annual reports from grantees and make appropriate adjustments to the projects based on the political environment and the changing world around us. What we also know is the first year you're really trying to figure out, okay, what did we say we were going to do? Oh my God, did we say we were going to do all that? And then you find out, oh my God, it's a lot more than what we said. And that's okay. Later on, you'll hear Rebecca Bates talk about state plan amendments and all that. So you're fine. So the first year of the project, it's going to be staff kind of reviewing it and going over with the council members, and that's okay. And we'll make adjustments as we go along. All right. Council staff will provide their evaluation of projects based on contact with you and involvement with the grantee, and mainly that written report. That's key. You've got to go on the DD suites and you got to do those reports. Reminders will pop up, let you know when it's done, and do your work plans and update your work plans, letting us know how you're getting along. Council staff will share their reflections with council members, and we'll also copy you so you'll know what we said about your work, so that there will be a continuous dialogue about the work being done. We council, in order to do our 5-year plan, had to create a logic model that shows the parts and pieces and how things interact. That will be a part of our process that we will review as well. Council members, they do play a major role in reviewing the court reports when they are submitted and asking questions as well as problem solve with the grantee and staff. It is the council members' job that when I give them your report and my comments, they can ask questions, because that's the only way we'll have a good understanding of the work that you're doing and make sure everybody's on board as to the progress that you're making. Grantees, sometimes and periodically you will be asked to come to the council meeting or the committee meeting to share your findings with us. So that is a part of the evaluation that council staff includes, because it's nice for them to hear from us, but it's also nice to hear about the actual people, from the actual people who are implementing the work on what you're saying, and so that everything kind of coordinates and we're all saying the same thing. Evaluation of projects. As we continue on, let's talk about the continuation of projects. They are determined by the Committee of Origin. So if your grant comes out the Community Living Committee or Public Policy Committee or the Employment Committee, that is the committee that will determine if you will continue. Each staff will present their recommendation to their respective committee and share why they feel it should continue. They may even share why it shouldn't be continued. But even if they do that, you will know ahead of time. If the committee votes to continue a project, it will then go to full council in order to be included in the state plan update. The executive committee will provide the final approval on continuation projects. Please know that if there's a reason for your grant not to be continued, it won't come as no shock. You will know ahead of time because there would have been something the staff has said to you or warned you or whatever, so that no time will there ever be a shock. It will never go to the executive committee if it's going to be denied, because again, the Committee of Origin makes that determination. So if it gets to the executive committee or if it gets to be included in the state plan update, then you're in good shape. You're not being terminated. You're continuing on, and that's a good thing. Okay, so let me make sure. I think I'm traveling now. Let's talk about external evaluation process. We understand the continuation process, how that's done, is done from the Committee of Origin. The staff person gives their recommendation. Again, that's based on quarterly reports, etc. Now, there comes a time that the DD Council, in its wisdom, has elected to incorporate again another measure for continuous quality improvements for council grants in order to ensure we are progressing towards the outcome that have been set for selected grantees. Again, I'm repeating myself. This is a partnership. And the external evaluation is outcome oriented. The external evaluation process allows for a non-biased party to review all the information and share their professional opinion on the work being implemented. It is expected that the external evaluators will either validate staff. They'll say, yep, what staff said is right, they're on target, and council conclusions about a project, or they will enlighten us on what we are missing. When I had to give you an example, when I had external evaluation done on transportation project, I had the Department of Transportation do that evaluation, and I was on point, but there were some things that they saw that I didn't know because I don't really work in transportation. And since they actually work in that realm, they saw what I was missing, and it enhanced the work that the project is doing. And they were able to make recommendations that we hadn't even thought about. DD Council staff, again, we're not taken off the hook from doing our part of the job. However, obtaining this information from the external evaluation and working with the grantee, we can achieve the outcome designed for the project and report our efforts to the Administration on Developmental Disabilities, which is our funding source. It also affords us the opportunity to educate council as a whole and to get full council buy-in for these projects. We are coming out of our silos and actually discussing our grants as a group, because most of the time it's just within our committee, our respective committee. The only time it goes to full council is actually when it goes to the executive committee, because that's the chairs of every committee. And the chairs of every committee are really the only group that knows what's going on in every committee. All council members do not know what's going on every committee. They only know what's going on the committee they serve on. But the executive committee, they kind of know more because they are part of that executive committee and they get to hear from each chair of what's going on in their committee. So that's just a little side piece I added. That's not on the slides. Now let's talk about the steps that are involved in implementing an external evaluation process. First, please note that any staff person or any council member, this is not on the slide, can ask for an external evaluation. So that can come from anybody, okay? The staff will meet with staff to determine which projects are either unique, controversial, or high profile enough that an external evaluation would be expedient. So it doesn't mean it. So you don't have external evaluation. It doesn't mean you're not unique, you're not controversial, you're not high profile. It's just that the information is of such that we're receiving from you that it doesn't require external evaluation. But I've done it when I've had complaints from people in the field. I would say, okay, let me have an external evaluation because people are complaining in the field and I don't like that. I know what I'm doing. Other people have done it for other reasons, but the main reason is unique, it's controversial or high profile. Determine how many external evaluators are needed. It'll be decided to have external evaluate. It was decided to have external evaluators that had expertise in that particular area, not a person who had global, but they have to have expertise in whatever topic matter we're getting ready to have the external evaluation on. We select the individuals, we determine how much it costs. We may have to do a state plan amendment in order to make sure the money is available. And this will be done in February, so that they can begin their work in March and to provide a final report in April. Since we're going from October to September, I have to go within those confines. So again, whatever we decide to do, it has to be finalized in February so that the external evaluator can get to work in March, and by October they can give us a final report. We utilize whatever mechanism that has been approved to hire our evaluators that have been targeted based on their expertise. Then, in the past, once the evaluators has been selected and they have submitted their proposal, the DD Council staff enter that into the DD suites, and we fill out an application using the information that each evaluator provided in their proposal, such as the project outline, same as what you do when you apply for your grant: executive summary, qualifications, detailed narrative, a budget explanation, a project work plan, and a budget. And that's because it has to go into our DD suites, which is our application that helps us monitor and keep track of what people are doing. That's our process, our computer process that helps us keep track of who all got grants and what they have them for and what they're doing. Okay. The program staff with the fiscal administrator and the executive director will approve it once it's submitted, for this is a part of the internal work of the office. If the council members, the committee has already said, yeah, we want it done, then we in the office internally will approve that these are the evaluators that we're going to use. The external evaluators should begin working by March. The external evaluations are asked not only to review to determine if the grantee is progressing towards the outcome set by council, but they are to look at the following as well: collaboration, how well are the grantee doing with collaboration, leveraging of dollars and sustainability efforts, outreach efforts to the underserved as outlined in the original project proposal. And then council staff council staff provided a vital role in this process, for we have to share our evaluation of the project to the external evaluator. So they get our notes on what we've said over the quarters of what we feel about the projects. Okay. Selected grantees will be asked to submit the next year work plan, budget, and budget explanation by the first Friday in July so that the external evaluator can review that as well and make proper recommendations. Council staff will provide feedback as well, thus providing a well-rounded report on the progress of the grant. Because if they look at what you've done in the last year or two, and there's something off about what you're doing, they might as well look at what you have submitted that you're going to do the next year. So if there's something that needs to be tweaked, it can be tweaked, and that way we know we're on the right track. In September, the external evaluator will meet with DD Council staff, the chairperson of the originating committee where the project is from, and the grantee, and they will share their findings, and we will make adjustments to that report so that you would not be left out. You will know on and on what the evaluator is saying, and maybe there's some things you could say to clarify with the evaluator, and then they could change their report accordingly before they give it to full council in October. A report will be made available and explained in October to full council during a one-day meeting so the staff and various committees can make proper adjustment to continue or discontinue a project based on what the external evaluator has said. Documentation will be made of the final decisions, and a vote will be taken for each project. At the end of the process, each external evaluator will be given a feedback form to fill out to assist DD Council staff in further quality improvement. The idea of gathering information to determine benchmarks, indicators, and example of performance standards is data that is valuable and it can assist council in making future decisions in all the work we do. I hope this little explanation on how we do evaluate your project, how we do external evaluation, what we think about positive and negative learning has helped you. For more information, feel free to call that number and they'll put you straight through to me or any of the council staff. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Hope you enjoy the rest of the videos.